Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands! In this video we are playing Warhammer 40k in Combat Patrol format, which pits the Astra Militarum against the Death Guard. I'm Simone and I will be playing the Astra.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I will be playing the Death Guard. Before we start, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back. If you're not subscribed yet and want to help us, join a growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys!
Today's mission is Clash of Patrols. The two armies have to deploy within these two areas. There are 4 objectives and they are arranged in this way. As secondary objective, Astra has chosen Methodical Destruction, while the Death Guard has Contaminate Ground.
Let's move on to the description of the armies. A scout party of the Death Guard was sent to study the defenses and possible ways to spread diseases in an Imperial city on planet Hesperia. The team wasn't even halfway there when a group of the Astra Militarum started shooting them. Show the Astra the might of Nargothrond's army. The general of the army is Typhus. He is armed with a master-crafted Man Reaper, and as an enhancement, he has Walking Plague. In my command phase, I can select one friendly Poxwalker unit within contagion range and return up to the 6 destroyed Poxwalkers. The second in command is Falgot Grelge, a Biologos Putrifier equipped with Hyperblight grenades and injector pistol. When leading a unit, he gives the rule Lethal 5+ to every model in the unit. Next in line are the Plague Marines. The unit is composed of 1 Plague Champion armed with Heavy Plague Weapon and Plague Bolt Gun, 1 Plague Marine armed with Blight Launcher, 1 Marine with Plague Spewer, and 4 Marines with Plague Bolt Gun. Finally, there are 3 units of 10 Poxwalker Siege armed with improvised weapons. Their goal will be to attract the enemy fire while the other units get closer to the enemy. Every model in my army has an aura called Contagions of Nargot, and each round increases the contagion range of this aura, starting with 3 inches in the first round, up to 9 inches after the third. All the enemy models inside this ability have their toughness reduced by 1.
An Astra detachment has been tasked with intercepting Death Guard scouts near the city of Terivi. According to information, the enemy army consists of infantry only, which is why the Central Command has assigned an artillery unit that should be able to do huge damage and decide the outcome of the battle. The Astra is ready to fight. In this game, the army general is a certain Karsk. Honestly, I don't know who he is. Claudio is unfortunately busy with other battles and has delegated this guy to command this detachment. He is armed with plasma pistol and power weapon. As troops, the army is made up of 2 infantry squads. The first team is made up of 10 models. As special weapons, they have a flamer and a meltagun. The second unit is also made up of 10 models, and as special weapons, they have a plasma gun and a grenade launcher. As a support vehicle, there is an armored sentinel, equipped with plasma cannon and hunter-killer missile. Finally, we have the Field Ordnance Battery. The unit consists of 2 pieces, a Malleus rocket launcher and a Bombas field gun. I'm very doubtful about the capabilities of the Astra's Combat Patrol. Let's see if it can surprise me instead.
Considering the Astra's firepower, I decided to deploy the important units of my army in cover. Typhus is leading a unit of Poxwalkers and is on the right side of the battlefield, alongside the other 2 Poxwalkers unit. Falgot, instead, is leading the Marines on the left side of the battlefield. I placed them behind the container just to be sure not to lose them in the first round. Since the Death Guard is really slow, I would love to win the initiative to try to close the distance with the Astra as fast as possible.
The most important unit to deploy that I paid the most attention to was the artillery. I tried to make sure they had a full vision of the battlefield. An infantry squad is nearby, so they can protect them if needed. Karsk and his command squad are deployed in the center, next to the sentinel. On the right flank there is the 2nd infantry squad. My plan is to try to do as much damage as possible before the Death Guard can get close to me. I need to win the initiative and get the first turn.
Rolling for the initiative, grey dice for Astra and green dice for the Death Guard.
Ah, well, here's the one I didn't need.
3. Yes, the initiative is mine.
At the start of the battle round, I choose the unit of Poxwalkers that Typhus has joined as the target of my secondary objective, Methodical Destruction. If I manage to destroy it by the end of the battle round, I earn 4 victory points.
Since the Poxwalkers can't shoot, they all advance. Starting with the first unit that rolls A1. Well, didn't expect any better from mindless zombies. The second unit to advance is the one with Typhus. They roll A5. Great! They managed to reach the objective too. And now the last unit that rolls A1. Come on guys, double 1 to advance. I need you to focus. On the other side of the battlefield, the Marines move 5 inches forward to have someone to shoot inside. In the shooting phase, the only one that can shoot are the Marines, and the only weapon in range are the Blight Launcher and the Plague Bolt guns. They all aim at the infantry squad near the artilleries, starting with the Blight Launcher that makes 2 shots at 3+. With the little 5+, that's 2 automatic wounds.
I have a feeling the Astra soldiers are going to have a hard time. Or not! Double 6! Kadia stands!
We'll see. Now the 10 shots of the bolt guns at 3+. 4 hit and 3 automatic wounds. With strength 4 and toughness 3, I need 3+. 2 wounds, plus the 3 automatic wounds, it's 5 wounds total.
5 dice to defend at 5+. I guess saving them 2 was too much to ask. Only 1 dice defended. This means that 4 men died badly. The unit is still in great shape. I didn't expect that. At the start of the turn I gain 2 command points, 1 for the turn and 1 for the enhancement of my general. Then Karsk gives the order take aim to the troops to improve their ballistic skill by 1. Thanks to his enhancement, the order affects all my units and not just one. The first to move are the men on the left squad, who position themselves in front of the artillery in order to defend them from possible enemy charges. Karsk and the command squad move forward, reaching objective 4. On the right, the other infantry squad advances and does 1. Let's say they move at a pace just faster than walking and enter the hangar. In the shooting phase, the command squad opens fire first, starting with Karsk himself, who is armed with plasma pistol and targets the poxwalkers next to objective 2. 1 shot at 3+. Hit, with strength 7 at 3+ is enough to wound. 5, excellent!
Poxwalkers don't have armor save, but they have the ability Feel No Pain 5+. So, rolling the dice to see if they ignore the wounds at 5+. Yep, they're okay.
Too bad, now the bolt pistol of one of the command squad members. 1 shot at 3+. Missed. Now the last guns of the remaining soldiers of the squad. They are at short range, so 6 shots at 3+. Oh wow! All hit! With strength 3 and toughness 4, they wound at 5+. Ah, well, now it's as I expected. All misses. I need to take out that unit and earn victory points, so the infantry squad on the left also targets those poxwalkers. Drum-fed autogun of the sergeant, 2 shots at 3+. 1 hit, 5+ to wound. Wounded!
Ignoring with 5? Nope, 1 wound through.
The last guns, 6 shots at 3+. 4 hits, 5+ again to wound. Just 1. Meh.
5+ to ignore the wound. Nope.
Finally, we move on to the interesting weapons. Grenade launcher, D3 shots plus 1 for the blast rule. 1 shot plus the blast shot is 2 total. 3+ to hit. Both hit. With strength 4, this time it wounds at 4+. A wound.
5+ again. 1 more death.
Plasma gun, with the rapid fire 1 rule and the weapon at short range are 2 shots at 3+. Oh, nice roll! At strength 7, I need 3+ to wound. 1 wound.
You know the drill. 4 deaths total. I guess it could have been worse, so I'm okay with that.
And now we get to the pièce de résistance, the artillery. Let's start with the Malleus rocket launcher that fires on the usual poxwalkers. That's D6 shots plus 6 plus an additional shot due to the blast rule. Okay, that's 9 shots total, 4+ to hit. Only 3, not very precise as a first shot, but with the sustain hits 1 rule, they become 4. 3+ to wound the poxwalkers. 2, a little sad as a shot.
Ignoring with 5+. 1 wound ignored, nice!
4 shots of the last guns, 3+ to hit. 2 successful hits, 5+ this time to wound. Only 1.
5+ to ignore the wound. Nope.
2 shots of last pistol at 3+. Both hit, 5+ to wound. 1 wound.
Ignoring always at 5+. Another poxwalker dead.
Lastly, the Bombas field gun, D6 shots. 4 shots isn't bad, 4+ to hit. That's 3 hits, plus an additional 1 for D6 thanks to the sustain hits 1 rule. With strength 7 and toughness 4, I need to wound with 3 or more. Okay, 3 wounds for the poxwalkers to ignore.
The field gun deals 2 wounds each dice, so rolling to ignore each shot separately again with 5+. First 2 dice, nope. Second round, almost but nope again. Last 2 wounds, yes! 5 Poxwalkers leave the battlefield and only one is left to protect Typhus.
The last model to shoot in this shooting phase is the Sentinel, who must eliminate that last Poxwalker or Typhus will bring them back to life. Plasma Cannon, D3 shots. Obviously only one, how could I go wrong? 3+ to hit. Okay, at least that's a hit. 3+ to wound? No, I can't miss! I use a command point to reroll. Wounded! Now, please stop ignoring the wounds I deal to your Poxwalkers.
Why would I want to? Ignoring with 5? See? I told you! My Poxwalkers want to live. Sort of.
Look how I'm reduced to having to use the Hunter Killer missile, which has a single use per battle for a single Poxwalker. I feel bad just thinking about having to waste it like this, but I have no alternative. One shot at 3+. Well, so far so good. Will the strength 14 of the missile be enough to explode the Poxwalker into 1,000 pieces? 2+ to wound. Do you want to ignore even a missile?
Okay, 5 wounds to ignore with 5+. Well, a missile is kinda hard to ignore. The last Poxwalker leaves the battlefield. If only I managed to save one more Poxwalker, I could have had the perfect start. But I'm okay with how the first round went. Simone could have dealt a lot more damage if it wasn't for all the wounds ignored. In the next turn, I should be able to move close enough to try a charge with my units. If Typhus reaches Simone's units, he could wipe them off like nothing.
These 4 victory points obtained thanks to the Hunter Killer missile really make my heart ache. To think I could have used that missile directly on Typhus if that Poxwalker had died first. But in any case, what's done is done. I got the victory points, eliminated Andrea's first unit, and the situation isn't bad at all. A noteworthy first round. The problem will be what happens in the second round.
At the start of the round, I can select an objective marker under my control to gain an additional command point. I choose the objective 3. Then I gain 10 victory points for the control of objective 2 and 3.
At the start of the battle round, I changed the enemy unit chosen for the Methodical Destruction secondary objective and choose the rightmost Poxwalkers unit, closest to objective 2.
In the movement phase, my marines move 5 inches closer to the infantry squad inside the hangar. The Poxwalkers on objective 3 move closer to the center of the battlefield to give me the 3 victory points at the end of each round. Typhus moves closer to the enemy infantries and the Poxwalkers on the right advance to control objective 2. And they roll, again, A1. Okay. The marines split their shots. Folgot and the Flamer have weapons with only 12 inches range, so they shoot at the infantry inside the hangar, while the rest shoot on the artilleries. Starting with Folgot's grenades, D6 plus 2 shots thanks to the rule blast. 1. 3 shots at 3+. Only 2. With strength 5 and toughness 3, he wounds with 3+. Both wounded.
With -1 penetration, I can defend at 6. Wow, I made a 6! I didn't expect this. A dead soldier.
Now, the Flamer with D6 shots. 6. It hits automatically and wounds with 2+ thanks to the rule anti-infantry 2+. 5 wounds! Awesome roll!
This flamethrower is dangerous. 6 to save. 2 more 6s! It almost looks like Space Marine armor. Nah, I'm kidding. They must have just been lucky.
And now the artilleries, starting with the 2 shots of the Blight Launcher at 3+. Missed both. 10 shots of the bolt guns then, 3+ to hit, 1 automatic wound and 4 hits. Strength 4 and toughness 5, wounding with 5+. 2 wounded plus the automatic 1, it's 3 wounds total.
Artillery has armor on a 4+. 1 out of 3, better than nothing. 4 wounds left to the Bombas field gun.
Charge time. Typhus wants to reach both the infantries near objective 4 and needs 5+ to succeed. 6. He's in combat. The marines aim at the infantry inside the hangar and need 7+. 4. I really need them in combat. Rerolling with a command point. 2. Apparently, they really don't want to fight.
Try running with that heavy armor and all those diseases. Great job, my disgusting friends.
In the combat phase, Typhus tries to eliminate the enemy general with his Man Reaper using the sweep profile. He makes 10 attacks at 2+. 6 hits plus 3 automatic wounds. With strength 6, I only need 2+ to wound. 4 wounds plus 3 automatic, it's 7 wounds total.
-1 penetration, so I need to roll 6 on the dice. Okay, a dice saved the wound. The others I can try to ignore on 6 thanks to the Medipack. They didn't ignore anything at all. The entire command squad was wiped out, leaving only Karsk alive with 1 wound remaining. I don't think I can hurt Typhus in close combat. I prefer to leave the squad in this position to be able to move it towards the objective in the next turn, so I only fight with the 3 models that can attack. 3 attacks of the infantry squad at 4+. Oh, okay, just like I said. Now Karsk, who is armed with power weapon, 3 attacks at 4+ for him too. Only one, at strength 4, I need 5+ to wound. Nope, no surprises here. Combat isn't really Astra's strong suit. In the command phase, I gain 10 victory points for controlling objectives 1 and 4. Then Karsk gives the order take aim to all units to increase their ballistic skill by 1. Karsk must then take the battle shock test on 7+. Oh good! That's passed! No problem! The infantry squad in close combat with Typhus falls back and takes up position next to objective 2. Karsk is so shocked by the loss of his men that he has to hold on to something, so he moves close to the pipe. The Sentinel moves forward to reach a point where it can control objective 4. The squad on the right instead moves out of the hangar and next to objective 1. The infantry squad on the right targets the Poxwalkers in the center of the battlefield, starting with the Flamer. D6 shots. 4 shots that automatically hit the target. With strength 4 and toughness 4, I need a 4 to wound them. Okay, a good start. 3 wounds.
It's that time again. Ignoring wounds with 5+. 1 wound ignored.
Drum-fed autogun. 2 shots at 3+. Ah, what a fail. The last guns. 6 shots at 3+. 4 hits. Now though I need 5+ to wound. Just 2.
Ignoring again with 5+. Double 6! Great!
Ah, congratulations on the dice rolls you are making today. The Meltagun fires on Typhus instead, being the only weapon capable of inflicting many wounds on him. 1 shot at 3+. Yes! 3+ to wound! Good job!
Typhus has an invulnerable save of 4+. He didn't even feel it. 2 Poxwalkers need to leave the battlefield. Sorry guys.
Now the Ordnance Battery. Before firing with them though, I use a command point for Bring It Down, which allows all units targeting the chosen enemy unit, in this case the Poxwalkers to the side, to reroll their dice to hit.
I spent 1 command point for this stratagem, Disgustingly Resilient, and this time, it is really disgusting. Until the end of the phase, each attack that targets this unit of Poxwalkers has the damage reduced by 1. Yes, I know what you're thinking. It can go to 0. I love this stratagem.
Ah, perfect. This means that I can't fire almost any of my artillery weapons. Fantastic. The only weapon that can fire is the Bombas Field Gun, which causes 2 damage per attack. That ploy is truly disgusting. D6 shots plus 2 due to the blast rule. Finally a 5 on shots! 7 shots at 4+. I can reroll missed shots. 5 hits, plus an additional 1 for sustained hits thanks to the 6. 3+ to wound. Oh, all the dice! Then I can make some decent dice rolls too!
Ouch! Ignoring wounds with 5+. Oh, wow! 4 wounds ignored! These 2 guys were not lucky enough though.
The last one to shoot is the Sentinel. It also shoots at the Poxwalkers near objective 2. D3 shots plus 1 for blast. Alright, 2 shots at 3+. Both! 3+ to wound? 1 wound, okay.
Ignoring once again with 5+. Nope, another Poxwalker is dead. Typhus failed to eliminate Simone's lead, but that's not a big problem. He's left with only 1 wound, and in the next turn I could easily eliminate him in the shooting phase, and then charge someone else. At the end of the turn I gain 3 victory points thanks to the secondary objective Contaminate Ground, since I have a unit within 3 inches from the center of the battlefield.
I'm not at all satisfied with how my shooting phase went. Andrea managed to ignore practically all the wounds I inflicted on his models. I don't think the dice he rolled were average, they looked like dice with only 5s and 6s. And that stratagem that he used cancelled out part of the artillery firepower. The unit of Poxwalkers is still standing, and I was unable to earn the secondary objective victory points this turn. I'll have to try in every way to recover in the next round. Luckily, I have a stratagem that's right for me.
In the third turn, I gain only 5 victory points for the control of Objective 3.
This turn, I choose the Poxwalkers near Objective 2 again as targets for methodical distraction. Then I use 2 command points to use a wonderful stratagem. It's called Artillery Strike, and halts the movement and advancement of all enemy units. Furthermore, not Death Guard units can declare a charge in this turn, and during the shooting phase, all models shooting have a -1 reduction on their attack rolls. Amazing! Too bad I can only use it once per battle.
Wow, I did not expect that. My Marines moved 2 inches forward. Yeah, they're really fast, aren't they? And the Poxwalkers on Objective 2 do the same.
I take advantage of their movement to use a command point for Overwatch with artillery. Let's start thinning out the herd a bit. Malleus Rocket Launcher, D6 shots +6 +1 of the blast. I hate this. 8 shots at 6. 3 hits, +3 additional thanks to sustain hits. 6 dice to wound at 3. 3 wounds.
3 wounds to ignore at 5+. Well, that was easy.
Obviously, you saved them. 2 shots from the last guns at 6. A successful hit, 5+ to wound. Wow, a last gun made a wound.
Ignoring again with 5+. Not this time.
Incredibly, the last guns do more damage than the artillery itself. Finally, the Bombas Field Gun, D6 shots +1 for the blast. 5 total shots, I hit at 6. 1 hit, plus an additional 1 for sustained hits, 3+ to wound. Only 1. Not what I hoping for from this Overwatch.
Okay, I need to ignore both wounds at 5+. 6 with the first dice. 5 wounds ignored. Only 1 Poxwalker eliminated with the Overwatch. I can't complain. Anyway, as I was saying before being interrupted, the Poxwalkers moved 2 inches forward. In the shooting phase, I use again the stratagem Corrosive Effluence for 1 command point and improve the armor penetration of the Marines unit. Then, the Marines shoot. The Flamer targets the infantry in front of him. Folgot, together with the Blight Launcher, aims at the Sentinel, and the rest of the team shoots the other infantry squad. Starting with the Flamer, it's D6 shots that hit automatically. 6! Wounding with 2. All wounded.
With -2 penetration, they can't defend themselves from those shots, so I just have to remove them all en masse.
Now, Folgot in his grenades. D6 shots at 4+. 5 shots, great. Only 2 hit. Strength 5 and Toughness 7, I need 5+. Missed both. Let's try with the Blight Launcher. 2 shots at 4+. Missed both, again. Nice shot, guys. The bolt guns on the infantry on Objective 3. 10 shots at 4+. 7 hit. Strength 4, Toughness 2, they need 2+ to wound. 6 wounded, awesome.
6 dice to save at 6. Now I understand why you roll so well to ignore wounds. You're stealing my eye rolls too.
At the end of the turn, I gain 3 victory points, reaching 21 in total.
At the start of the turn, I gain 5 victory points for controlling Objective 4, reaching 19. Then my leader again gives the order take aim to the units. Finally, I have to take the Battle Shock test for Karsk at 7+. Nope, it failed. But I'd rather it not fail, so I use a command point for Insane Bravery. This way, it can act as if it passed the test. Having no more models to move at the end of the movement phase, I use a command point for the stratagem Sending the Next Wave. I love this stratagem. One of my infantry squad units that has been destroyed can be redeployed entirely within 9 inches of my table edge. I decide to deploy it here, in order to stand between Typhus and the artillery again. Welcome back, guys!
Yeah, welcome back. My Marines shoot Overwatch on them. You know, as a gift. Unfortunately though, the Flamer and Folgot are not in range, so I roll only for the bolt guns and the Blight Launcher. Starting with the bolt guns, 10 shots at 6. What are all those ones? 1 automatic wound. Unbelievable.
Only 1 dice to save at 5+. Nope, not even that.
Now 2 shots of the Blight Launcher at 6. Only 1.
-1 penetration this time, so at 6. 2 deaths. It could have been much worse. Only 2 models leave the battlefield. As soon as they arrive, the squad immediately gets busy shooting the Poxwalkers, except the Meltagun, which will fire on Typhus. I use a command point for Bring It Down to reroll attack rolls against Poxwalkers. First, the Flamer, D6 shots. 4, okay, 4 shots to hit automatically, 4+ to wound. Only 1, a classic.
Ignoring with 5+, I guess they're made of iron.
The drum-fed autogun with 2 shots at 3+. Rerolling thanks to the stratagem. 1 hit, it wounds at 5+. Good, it wounded.
5+ to ignore. See? I told you.
6 shots of the last guns at 3+. Rerolling missed shots. 5 total, not bad. I need a 5+ to wound. Nope, none. The Meltagun targets Typhus, shooting a 3+. Hit, perfect. With strength 9, it can wound a 3+. No, I needed to wound, so I use a command point to reroll. Okay. Oh boy, what a tension.
4+ invulnerable save. 2. I need to save him, so I reroll with a command point. 1. I guess from so close, his armor cannot save.
Finally something went right. That's d6 plus 2 wounds. I can kill him. What kind of dice roll is that? How sad. Only 3 wounds.
Wow, it was too close. 3 wounds left to Typhus.
The Sentinel turns its plasma cannon on Typhus and overcharges it, dealing d3 empowered shots. 3! I have to hit a 3+. To hit! With strength 8 and toughness 6, it wounds a 3+. Both? Fingers crossed.
4+ invulnerable save. Just 1. And Typhus is down to 1 wound.
Hazardous test for the Sentinel. Just don't do 1. Great, all good. He only has 1 wound left. Karsk, it's your turn, you can kill him. With his plasma pistol, my general shoots Typhus with 1 shot at 3+. Hit! 3+ to wound? Yes!
Invulnerable save. Nope. Typhus is gone.
Boom! Take all the glory, Karsk, you deserved it. Now the artillery firing on the Poxwalkers.
I use again the stratagem disgustingly resilient on the Poxwalkers.
I imagined. I can therefore only fire with the Bombas field gun. D6 shots plus 1 for the blast. All low rolls for the artillery. 3 total to hit at 4+. Okay, I'll reroll the failed shots. All on target. They wound a 3+. Only 1. Unlucky.
Ignoring the wound with 5+. Why are there 2 dice? Oh well, I failed with both anyways. 1 Poxwalker dies. Typhus failing all those invulnerable saves was really bad. Luckily, the Poxwalkers that Simone chose for his secondary objective are still alive, so Simone won't take victory points. The stratagem that blocked my charges really messed up my units. In the next turn, I have to lock in combat some of Simone's units, or he will shoot my units to death.
This turn had some positive events, such as the death of Typhus, but I'm not sure it will be enough to get the game back under control. I still have to figure out how to eliminate the Marines who are advancing towards me. My only hope is that Andrea fails his shooting phase and that my units start doing serious damage. If all goes well, in my next turn I could bring a new infantry unit of mine onto the battlefield. Let's see.
In this turn, I gain 15 victory points for the control of objectives 1, 2, and 3, reaching 36 in total. Then, my Marines move towards the Sentinel just to be sure to charge him later, and the Poxwalkers on the right move to hide from the artilleries behind the tower. In the shooting phase, I use again the stratagem to improve the armor penetration of my Marines. Then the Flamer aims the infantry squad, Volgot throws a grenade to the enemy leader, and the other shoots at the artilleries. I need to eliminate as many enemies as possible. Let's start with the Flamer on the infantry with d6 shots. Only 2. Wounding with 2+, both wounded.
Okay, I can accept 2 deaths. The squad is still strong.
Now, Volgot with his grenade. D6 shots at 3+. 5. Great. Rolling the hit. All hit. Wounding with 3+. Perfect.
I'm sorry, nothing I can do to save you, Karsk. You did what you could.
Both guns. 10 shots at 3+. 4 automatic wounds and 3 hit. 5+ to wound for the higher toughness. None. Only the 4 automatic wound pass.
4 dice to save a 5+. Obviously, I only save 1. That's 3 wounds suffered.
Blight Launcher. 2 shots at 3+. 2 automatic wounds. Nice.
2 dice, but this time with -2 penetration, so at 6. Failed. The Bombas field gun was destroyed. Too bad.
Charge phase, finally. The Marines charge the Sentinel and need 3+. 9. With all that movement, they manage to surround the Sentinel. The Marines fight with the Sentinel and make 21 attacks at 3+, splitting them into 2 groups. First 11 dice, just 2 automatic wounds and 2 hit. So bad. Last 10 dice at 3+. 2 automatic wounds and 5 hit this time. Strength 4 and toughness 7 need 5+ to wound. 5 wounds! 9 wounds total with the automatic ones.
9 to save a 2+. 3 wounds out of 21 attacks? Not a bad result.
Now, the champion's heavy weapon with 3 attacks at 4+. The rolling one with a common point, 1 automatic wound and 2 hit. With strength 8, I wound with 3+. First one hit. Full wound. Great.
3 attacks, this time to save a 4+. Only one, unfortunately. This means that the Sentinel has been eliminated. I have to do the test to see if it explodes at 6. Nope, not even this satisfaction. See you next time, my dear.
Awesome! Now the Marines can consolidate on the infantry squad and block them in combat. Amazing fight, guys!
The infantry can attack the Marines. Let's enjoy this moment of uselessness. First, they pile in. Then, fight with the Marines, making 8 attacks at 4+. 3 successful attacks, 5+ to wound. Only 1 wound.
Saving with 3+? Yep, easy.
I don't think there can be anything else for me to do in this match, so the victory goes to the Death Guard.
Even though it felt like it was a one-sided match, this game was really well fought. The Feel No Pain 5+ of the Poxwalker saved me a lot of wounds that would have destroyed my units with ease. In the end, I lost only 1 unit of Poxwalkers and Typhus. I'm really curious to see how the Death Guard will perform against other armies.
Apparently, the shooting phase of a single Death Guard unit proved more effective than my entire shooting phase against the Poxwalkers. How sad, really. I'm not satisfied at all. I don't really like the Astra Combat Patrol list. It doesn't have enough damage and doesn't have too much resistance either. I have to admit that the stratagems are wonderful, but that's the only interesting thing. The absence of a Limaras is really noticeable. Let me know what you think. Before finishing, we would like to take a moment to thank our members who have decided to support us on Patreon. And if you guys want to support the channel and enjoy an additional and exclusive battle report per month, or see your models showcased in our videos, the Patreon link is in the description. We are waiting for you on Discord.
And if you have come this far, write the word unkillable in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!